Wait. Don't leave yet. Don't leave yet. I forgot to turn the light on. Hold on. We got to turn the big light on. Hey, okay. Let's have a see. It's top, medium, bottom, top, medium. Medium is where we usually go. That's the light that sits on the tripod, the trifecta, the 3 cans of beer that we will utilize shortly. I have a can that I am just finishing. This is nothing to do with today. We get rid of this. So I have the three. We have the three in the tripod. And yes, I just throw them in that corner and tidy them up later. And we have the one. This is the one that we actually drink. But if you saw today's video earlier, you know that I got gifted 4 bottles of whiskey and vodka. My friend Mark, he's a Womble, the Torrevieja Sandman, and we will give links. I think I will do my best to give links to him. I don't think I've done it so far. I do apologise, Mark. I think I did it earlier in the videos earlier. He's that's a thing. So if you're British and you know what a Womble is, that's okay. If you're not British and you don't know what a Womble is, the Wombles of Wimbledon common are we, making good use of the things the everyday folks leave behind. They were the original recyclers. I got a hello, hold on. Oh, it's Marie. Hello, Marie. Anything new in your life, DM? 2 bottles of whiskey and 2 bottles of vodka, apparently. Other than that, me and Tina have been arguing all day. I think we've had a few in-depth discussions to do with whether or not you shit inside the tent or outside. My friend Tom came around and brought me breakfast, and then my friend Mark came around and brought me alcohol. All in all, it's been a good day. Oh, look at that. I can turn that off. That's not doing anything. I got the EcoFlow right next to me here. Yeah, no, not really. Nothing earth-shattering. I had coffee, I had breakfast. We had the fogs yesterday. That was quite something. And then overnight was incredibly wet. We obviously went below the dew point and we had lots of moisture, condensation on the outside of the tent and even on the inside. We kind of literally had rain on the inside. Wombles roam the hills, have horns and are hard to catch like haggis. They go, no, there's no horns on a womble. Wombles are peaceable little chaps, like Great Uncle Bulgaria and hard to catch, just like haggis. They've got horns and are hard to trap. They're delicious when you catch them. No, 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 no. Wombles are nice little recycling fellows. They're good. Um, they're goodies. They're nice peoples. Wombles are people too. Um, yeah, you got to go back. Wow, 70s, 60s, even possibly to the beginning of the Wombles. And there's even pop songs. Remember, you're a Womble. Remember, 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 you're a Womble. What was he called? Mike, somebody or other. Mike. I think Mike. Remember, you're a Womble. So the Wombles are all about making good use of the everyday things making good use of the things the everyday folk leave behind. They wander around on Wimbledon Common, so it's kind of a Womble and Wimble are not puns, but they're kind of a joke on each other. So Wimbledon is a real place, but the Wombles were made up by a lady She made books and TV series and things. And I think it's Bernard Cribbins. It's got to be Bernard. Everything was Bernard Cribbins back then. Bernard Cribbins did everything that was children's TV. Right through until what, 2010 or 12? When he was in all the Doctor Who's. With Donna Noble. He was Donna Noble's granddad. Kate, no, not Kate. What's she? Catherine Tate, not Kate. Catherine Tate. When she was in the Doctor Who series, the granddad. Oh, he wasn't just. Hold on, I gotta backstep a little bit. Let's just go back 50 years. He was already in Doctor Who in the films. In the films in the 60s or 70s when they did films. Bernard Cribbins goes back way. His history with Doctor Who goes way back. Let me. Uncle Bulgari was one of the ones. So was Tosca, something like that. Madame Choulet, the French womble that was the cook. When they had to introduce a girl, but obviously she had to be the cook. A little bit of sexism, maybe, possibly, but you're gonna introduce a female womble. Of course, she's gonna be the fucking cook. She's either the cook or the bed servant, kind of. I don't know, whatever you're gonna. I'm going to scroll right back to the beginning, folks, and then I'm going to come forward. Farmer was welcoming me. Mike, I hope you're out of the fog, but my memory might be foggy. Welcome, Delta Force Mike. Hello. I was indeed out of the fog. We had fog. That was yesterday, not today. But we had the moisture in the air still. And even today, the air was like it was a white sky rather than a blue sky. We had a very clear sky, but it wasn't quite blue. It was white. It was, whether you want to call it a mist or a high cloud or something like that. So we didn't get full. Message. Oh God, Farmer's even reminded me. I'm on Top Chat. Let me go live chat and then scroll back again. Shit. I'm missing my own. I haven't done my intro yet, folks. Let me do my intro in a minute or two. Select all messages. You can confirm this by looking at the live chat. It should say all messages. Pound, smash, poke, prod, press, push, punch, slap, chop, bump, tap, flick, kick, click, lick, rub, slam the like button, if you wouldn't mind. And subscribe. I'm sure we had more likes a minute ago than we have now. We went backwards. Somebody pressed twice. Farmer says, Mike, there is no, and then he gives me a video, but I'm unable to click on that. Then he says I'm all, and he gives another video. I can't. If I follow those links, the stream ends. Smithy 2025 says, evening everyone. Good evening, Smithy. Hello all. That was where Marie entered and said anything new in life DM. New in life. Well, I was making pancakes the other day, and I did English and I was going to do American, and I didn't have the baking powder, baking soda, and so I used levadura, yeast. English, it escapes me sometimes. I used yeast, and I had to set it aside, and I've still got the mix now, and it's popping and fizzing away. I have a live yeast culture going on, which means two things. It means the yeast that I've had laying around in my tent for 9 months is alive, and it also means that my pancake batter is fizzing and popping. I'm gonna make a bread mix and a crumpet mix using the same yeast culture. I'm gonna take some of that and put into something. I don't use each packet. shit. Once you've got a culture, once you've got a yeast culture that's alive, just keep using it for different things, and then you can open another packet another time. But here's the thing: I am gonna make. I've got some ginger. I got some ginger tucked away over here somewhere. Okay, I'm gonna boil some water, and I'm gonna let it cool. 8 liters of it, something like that. A bigly amount. If I've got a bottle laying around, I'm gonna let it cool down. And as it cools down, I'm gonna introduce the ginger, a bag of sugar, and some yeast. And I'm gonna make some bloody booze. I'm gonna make some. Is it ginger beer? Is it ginger ale? I don't know the correct term at the right time. I don't know. I don't own a hygrometer. I'm not going to be able to distinguish between a beer, a wine, an ale. Who knows? But it'll be gingerish, and it'll have some alcohol in maybe a month. I'm going to do that. I might make 2 bottles if I can find enough water bottles. It's the water bottles is the barrier to entry. I am getting low on water. But as you know, my friend Karen will be in country in I think it's just under or just over 2 weeks from now. So I'm going to do an audit. I'm going to count how much water I've got. It's certainly less than 50 litres at the minute, but it's of that, roughly speaking, it's of that order of magnitude. I've got 4 or 5 full bottles that are 8 litres and a bunch of 1.5 litre smaller bottles. When my friend Karen's here, her and husband will easily bring me something approaching 40 or 50 litres to keep me going. I got other friends who can bring me things. If I get stuck, I can put out the shout. I can always do a little bit of shopping myself and buy some. It's what's the word? Not manipulation. Logistics. It's logistics. I used to be stuck. I'm not quite as stuck, but Tina's health is failing and her front paws don't work, because we've got the chariot, but her front paws give from under her at times now, and it's not, well, it's not pleasant watching her. I don't want to say fall apart, but I think I want to say fall apart. It's not pleasant watching her body crumble from under her. So yeah, we can get out and about. We just don't get out and about as much because it's not as safe as it was. It's not as secure as it was. But we got the things, folks. We got the things. We can do the stuff. When we need to do the stuff, we can do the stuff. But we are getting low on water. But I think we've got some friends in country now. We've got some due in country in the next month or so, within the next month, that I think will get us nice and secure again, without me having to battle. Without me having to battle those circumstances. Wombles roam the hills, have horns are hard. No, wombles are not that. Twerk artist, what are wombles? You have to look up the Wombles of Wimbledon Common. It is a children's TV program from the 70s. They were, well, they weren't exactly hand puppets, but they were, I think it was stop motion animation, and they were ecologists. They were early incarnations of eco-friendly puppets for children. Puppets, muppets, whatever you want to call them. And the Wombles of Wimbledon Common, are we? Making good use, how does it go? Making good use of the things the everyday folks leave behind. Da, 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 da. You got to be there. You had to be there in the 1970s. You had to be a child of the 70s. You need to get out and about, says Marie. Out and about would be nice. I like to go and see the sea when we get a chance. I've got things here nowadays that are expensive, and it's a little bit dangerous to leave unguarded. But there's a thing with Tina not being able to go far. There's a thing with me carrying Tina, but there's a nice thing if you can go that little bit further. It's a balancing act. It's a trade-off. We do what we can, when we can, how we can, and sometimes good, sometimes not, I guess. Let me see if I can't shuffle these lights this way, balance it up a little bit. Is that on the middle? That's the brightest. That's usually too bright. We're usually in the middle. Okay. I thought that seemed too bright before. Are we talking about the native Womble vulgaris or the Womble of Wimbledon? The Wombles of Wimbledon, common are we? Uncle Bulgaria, and Tomsk, and Madame Choulet, and anybody. I don't remember the names of the rest, to be honest. Uncle Bulgaria was one of the Wombles, he was indeed. Shush, not made up Wombles, and haggis are real. Haggis are real creatures, but you have to understand the haggis always run around the hill in the same direction, so they have one leg longer than the other. Bagpuss established this fact. Bagpuss and Professor Yaffles. Bagpuss, dear Bagpuss, fat furry old cloth cat puss, wake up and see these things that we bring. That was Emily. And of course, when Bagpuss wakes up, the magical mice on the mouse organ wake up, and Madeline and Gabriel the frog wake up. Oh, and off they go. We will fix it, we will mend it, we will da 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 da. That's the mice. That's the mice on the magical mouse organ. Here's Jasper. I used to say, is it Afghan? Afghan dogs were like wombles. From behind, Afghan dogs were women. Jesus. If you saw an Afghan hound sat in the car with that long hair and the ears, it was a lady. You were convinced it was a woman sticking out. James Caan was an amazing actor. He was, Sammy. I don't know how we got there. Why did that come up? James Caan was an amazing actor. What's that called? Rollerball or rollerblade? What was that called? It was like ice skating, but along a sloped thing and battling against another team. Obviously, yeah, I've never watched any of the Godfather films, but he's well regarded from those. And wasn't there a TV series called Hotel? I think in the 90s or maybe the noughts, maybe the 2000s, where he was like the head of security. Great actor, like James Caan a lot. I'm not sure how we got there from Wombles and Bulgaria and don't know. Welcome, you're welcome to the future, says Jasper. After doing some research, it turns out Wombles are from a cartoon. Not really a cartoon, it was more of a stop motion puppet kind of thing. But yeah, 6 decades ago. Damn, y'all are old, like dinosaur old. We are. Um, the TV show was probably from the 60s or 70s. I certainly saw it 73 to 80 maybe. Um, Bernard Cribbins was the narrator. We did all the voices, not just narration. He did the voices for each character. And Bernard Cribbins is a huge part of British childhood. Everyone in Britain who is over 30 or 40, everybody knows Bernard Cribbins. From lots and lots and lots of TV shows, lots and lots. Whether it be Jack and Ori, whether it be the Wombles, whether it's the original Doctor Who films, whether it's a later Doctor Who TV series, so many things. Bernard Cribbins was. I'm gonna look up a list because what I've just mentioned is a tiny proportion of Bernard Cribbins' kind of anthology. Just give me a second. I have to, because the man, respect is due. He died just a few years ago, I think. I think that's right. Actor and singer, right, said Fred. Let's have a cup of tea. Boom, 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 boom. Died in 2022. Yeah, in Weybridge. Okay. Let's get like a movies and shows. Let's get like not a discography, but oh fuck. Okay, folks. The Railway Children. You're going to go right back to 1970 and the original Railway Children. The Wombles. Old Jack's Boat. Daleks Invasion Earth 2150 with Doctor Who. That's Carry On Jack. Carry On Spying. Two-Way Stretch. Jack and Ori. The Wrong Arm. Carry On. Is that Columbus? Voyage of the Damned. The Water Babies. We're just going to keep going. I was talking about She the other fucking day. I couldn't find it. There it is now. I'm going to look it up. But I'm on with something else now. Rockpool Tales, Old Jack's Boat. Dangerous Davies with, that was another one with the Doctor. It was almost a Doctor Who spin-off. That's, what do they call the guy that did Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxies? That's a spin-off. That's a thing of his. Frenzy with Hitchcock. He was in Frenzy with Barry Foster that did Eye Level. Hold on. The song the theme tune's called Eye Level. Barry Foster was the European detective in Brussels. Was it Brussels? No, it wasn't Brussels. It was Amsterdam. Barry Foster. Van der Valk. Okay. But apparently the film. So that guy Barry Foster did a film called Frenzy where he was the murderer. He used to tie a scarf and strangle women, and our guy here was in that same film. Bernard Cribbins was in that same film. Lots of Doctor Who stuff. Mouse on the Moon. Never heard of that, but okay. That looks questionably 60s or 50s. Crooks and Cloisters, never heard of. Simon in the Land of Chalk Drawings. That's a kids program, 74 to 76. More Doctor Who. The Plank. Oh my God, the original slapstick film. The Plank. Okay. The Sandwich Man, the Bernard Cribbins Show. Coffee. Mind Your Own Business. I think that was a learn how to read. That was an adult education program, if I remember right. High and Dry 87. Cribbins, never heard of it, but I'm sure I watched it. Tommy the Toreador. Okay. Shillingbury Tales. The guy was everywhere, folks. Basically, if it was in the 60s and the 70s and the 80s, Bernard Cribbins was in it. When We Are Married. No idea. It's Your Move with Tommy Cooper and Eric Sykes. Jesus. This guy was like right there with everything that ever happened. A Midsummer Night's Dream. Something called Patrick. The World of Susie. Ooh. That goes off the screen. I don't know. Children's entertainment in particular. I mean, really. There's more Doctor Who stuff here. Star Turn, Catching the Impossible. Bernard. Oh, Supergran. Fuck, he was in Supergran, really. And Chris Rock, Down to Earth. 1967 Casino Royale. That'll be the one with David Niven, yeah? As James Bond. Basically, folks, in case you're not British, everybody knows Bernard Cribbins. Knew, I should correct my tense. Everybody knew Bernard Cribbins. He was the man. He was everywhere. He was everything, everywhere, everyone, all the time. If you're more than 30, you know Bernard Cribbins. If you're under 30, you should know Bernard Cribbins. But what my friend YML there from Bangladesh is maybe not as familiar with British culture and British TV, but he was everywhere. He was the Wombles. He was, let's think. He was, what do you call those films? The Two Towers, The Hobbit. He told all of that on Jackanory. It's not my thing. I don't like it, but The Hobbit and all of those other tales. Bernard Cribbins, he was literature, he was film, he was kids entertainment, but he went beyond that. We grew up with him, and as we grew, he carried on, and he was everywhere. He was everything. I'm not religious, but God rest his soul. Bernard Cribbins. He was a big part, not just one generation. I gotta say, 2, maybe 3 generations, depending on how you count a generation. If a generation was 20 years, 3 generations of UK entertainment, we all knew. Nobody didn't know who Bernard Cribbins was. There's no question. If you were alive in those times, you knew who Bernard Cribbins was. So anyway, I don't know, how did we get here? Let's I'm gonna scroll. I'm gonna look back to chat. After doing some research, turns out the Wombles are from a cartoon show 6 decades ago. Damn, you're all old. It's not a cartoon per se. It was stop motion animation with puppets, but yeah, it was a long time ago, 60s and 70s. I remember it from the 70s. Whether it extended back to the 60s, I'm not quite sure. But it's old. Back to the Future, said Farmer. Hawkwind, welcome to the future. Moonshine. Is that about me and my ginger ale? Okay. You've had a few already, I can tell, so I will be here for a little while. Well, my friend My friend Mark brought me. You saw that I got the 4 bottles earlier. I got two. I got 2 whiskeys and 2 vodkas, and obviously I've got cans because I've always got cans. Well, I don't. That's not quite true. Whenever I can afford, whenever I have a bit of, and please bear in mind, folks, because I know some of you are in the UK, some of you are in America or Canada or whatever. This is Spain. I can get 12 cans of beer for 3 or 4 euros. Okay, it's not, and a euro and a dollar are almost the same thing. Near as damn. Euros, pounds, dollars are all within 10 or 20% of each other. It's not a big difference. But when I say to you that this can of beer is like 34 cents, I'm not taking the piss. It's 34 cents. It's nothing. I don't mean nothing. I went months and months once upon a time without having a drink. Months and months and months. I dreamed of being able to buy alcohol at Christmas. I dreamed of being able to buy a 12-pack of beer and I couldn't afford it. On the flip side, this stuff, a pack of red wine, this is about 110, 113, something like that at the minute. White wine is under a fucking euro for the litre, a Tetra Pak. I got a litre out there for cooking. What am I gonna do? I've got some I think the sausages would suit red wine more. But I got red wine to go with the cream. I've got mustard. I've got cream. I'm gonna do some kind of that kind of floury sauce to go with something. We can think about what later. Cookery though, the white wine is more for cookery in my especially the stuff that's cheaper than a euro, because it's cheaper than a euro, isn't it? It's, I think it's something like 85 or 90 cents for the litre of white wine. Obviously I'm not going to use the whole litre to cook one meal. It probably half of that, in with some cream, in with some mustard, maybe some mushrooms and onions, and whatever the meat of the day would be. I'd love to do pigeon, but I haven't got a butcher nearby for that. Supermarkets don't really do pigeon here. They do rabbit though. I could do rabbit. One day. But again, rabbit's quite gamey, so I would lean towards red. I would lean towards red wine with that. I don't know. I guess you're gonna lean chicken or turkey. There's always turkey in the shops in Spain. Turkey is an all year round thing. I got turkey with a white wine, mustard, cream kind of sauce, maybe. I don't know. What are your thoughts? What would you do? I'm scrolling. I figured it was the song Jasper's riffing you. Hold on, you have had a few already, I can tell. I'm not sure that I'm that. I don't know. I'm that obvious that I've had a young, but I said earlier that I had, so yeah, I'm not hiding it. Some man on YouTube made 29p a litre alcohol. You just buy it at that price here. That's not even a struggle, Jasper. If you were to do it homemade here, you'd get it for a fraction of that price. Bag of sugar, some water, and some yeast. I struggle to remember the word yeast because levadura. And they use the same word, levadura, the leavening agent, basically. They use the same word for yeast as they do for baking soda. Sometimes I've been caught out in the past buying what I thought was yeast, and it ends up just being baking powder or baking soda. Levadura is used just like as leavening agent. You have to read the small print. You wanna see organic or biological or something in the description to know that you're actually getting yeast. But yeah, this pack that I've got at the minute is definitely yeast. I have a live culture over there because I was trying to make American pancakes. I didn't have baking soda, so I used yeast. Flour, water, a bit of sugar, and not water, milk. It's powdered milk. I used flour, powdered milk, and water. So milk, and sugar and yeast, and put in a bottle. And then I got filled up on the English pancakes, the more crepe, as the Americans would say, the more crepe style pancakes. I got full, and so now I've just got the. I have to open it up 3 times a day to let the fizz out, to let the. Otherwise, it just builds up. The CO2 is just building up too much. Yeah, I don't know. There we go. But I'm gonna take that and I'm gonna convert. I'm gonna make a crumpet style, like a bread mix, but with the really yeasty, bubbly stuff. I want to do some flatbreads which don't really need the yeast, but I'll take a little bit just to help them out. So each of these are going to be separate, like pop bottles, separate 2 litre cola bottles, if you will. Or some of them are just water bottles rather than cola bottles. But I'm going to develop all these yeast colonies, and this is all. I used about a quarter of a bag of yeast. I used almost nothing in the original bottle, and we're going to develop from there. And I don't really have a way of labeling them. I haven't got. It's like I need sticky labels and a fucking felt tip pen, and Tramp in a field doesn't have sticky labels and felt tip pens laying around. It's not a thing. What do you do, folks? So as I've got over there, I've got a bottle that is English pancake mix. I've got American pancake mix that's fizzing away. I want to do some ginger beer. I want to do just a normal, just a normal bread mix. I want to do something like a crumpet mix. And how do I label them? Where do I keep them? What do I do? How do I make sure I don't confuse them and I keep them separate? I guess I go to the Chino Bazaar at the top of the road and I walk around the shop for a little bit, but that's awkward because usually I've taken the dog with me when I walk up there and she barks once a second every second while I'm in. So I normally rush in and out. I don't know how I spend like half an hour walking around the shop. That'll feel weird. And it's a lot bigger than that. What if that half an hour doesn't get me what I need? I don't know, folks. I don't know. I'm just an average, ordinary, everyday kind of tramp. I don't know what I do. I don't know. I don't know the who, how, what, when, wheres of that. Oh. Oh. Sorry, folks. Yawning a little bit. Cheers to you. I'm going to scroll now and I'm going to catch a few questions. Jasper banged his head a couple of weeks back, and he's convinced he's lost his marbles. He had a literal, I think he said a German word earlier today that means scatterbrained. I'm guessing, I'm fairly sure he lives in Germany, but just use pure fruit juice. Fruit juice and yeast, yeah. Fruit, yeah, that works without adding too much sugar. As long as you don't go for like an orange or the citrus fruits don't do well with alcohol. Like limoncello, but you have to water it down quite a lot with I think it's cream, isn't it, in limoncello? But other fruit juices do well. Yeah, yeah. Apples and well, I don't know what, but yeah. Apples, you don't even need to add yeast because there tends to be yeast on the outer skin. And you don't even use the best fruits, the best apples. You use the garden fall. That you use the stuff that just drops off. The yeah. The best cider is made with what do you call it? Something fall, windfall. You use just the shit that's on the ground, if you will pardon the expression, folks. Give us a thumbs up. Come on, you know you want to. We're aiming for 20 at least. We always have to hit 20. And you can be part of the 20. Give us a thumbs up. You know you want to. Let me just use pure fruit juice. Farmers posting lots and lots of links which I can't follow. Great Uncle Bulgaria, Wombles links above. Okay. Jamie and the Magic Torch. That was a good one. Not as good as William's Wish Wellingtons, but that's Jamie and his Magic Torch, Sam and his Magic Ball, William and his Wish Wellingtons. These were all great. When I was in my 20s or maybe early 30s, me and the wife found ourselves at home. I think we must have been at university. And we found ourselves at home at certain times of day quite often. And we watched all these kids' TV programs because there was so much fucking fun. Jamie and his Magic Torch, Sam and his Magic Ball, William and his Wish Wellingtons. There was another kid who could just draw on the walls. What was he called? He just drew on the walls and they came to life. I don't know what he was called. There was a hand puppet, a lady, a very pretty blonde lady with two spiders, glove puppets, Itsy and Bitsy maybe. And there was Orm and Cheap. Orm was a worm and Cheap was a baby bird. Same thing. This isn't even my childhood. This is my fucking adulthood. But I loved these programs. I was about to say I grew up with these programs, and I guess I did, in a retardation kind of way. I had a late blossoming, a late blooming into adulthood. I blame the wife. Jan, it's your fault. Fuck off. Ormond fucking Cheap. Pob. And then he blows and he writes his name on the glass. What was the little yellow and was it yellow and blue? It wasn't yellow and blue, yellow and black. The little car. There's another one. It's almost based on Doctor Who. That wasn't his car called Bessie, the third Doctor. The guy who went on to be Whistle Gummidge, John. Hold on. Third Doctor Who. He was big on the radio. I've got loads of recordings of him on the radio. Wasn't Around the Horn, was it? Or was it? John Pertwee. Wurzel Gummidge, but he was the third Doctor. But he had a car. Fairly sure it was called Bessie. That was because his garb was very much Edwardian. He was a throwback. But then there was a kids' TV program with a car that looked very similar, smaller, but very similar. Don't know the name of it. Somebody out there will. Were you a Beano, Topper, all of the above, Beano, Topper and Dandy? If someone bought them for me, it wasn't a frequent. My dad didn't live with us. My dad was away a lot working, but if he was home, the comic books. So Dan Dare and the Cow Pie and what was the alien with a big head called? Yeah, all of that. Those comic books. They were infrequent or not infrequent, irregular. So they weren't a staple. 10 years later, my brother had the X-Men comics regularly. Something changed, and week after week after week, I was able to read the X-Men comics. Oh, that was when I was like 14 or 15. But my childhood comic books I loved them, but they were irregular. They were great for learning how to read because phonetic. They weren't spelt correctly. You had to roll with the spelling and get the pronunciation that way. So yeah, loved them, but not a regular in my. So we had some of the Marvel comics, Iron Man and She-Hulk. I remember She-Hulk. I really liked She-Hulk because of how she was irreverent and she broke what you would call nowadays the fourth wall. I'm not sure we called it that then. But yeah, she would crawl between the frames of the page and talk out. Yeah, no, I like comic books. I loved reading. Zami said rollerball. That's James Caan. Yeah. Michael Bentin's Potty Time. Jesus, yeah, that was that again. That was irreverent. It was animated in that same stop motion. But yeah, and Michael, as a kid, you didn't realize how big a star Michael Bentin was. Yeah, no, that goes back. Michael Bentin's Potty Time. Armchair Thriller was scary. That was on an evening. Yeah, that was like a movie theater thing. That was a weekly. Serialized isn't the right word. It was what is the word? There is a word. Individual stories each time, totally separate stories. Armchair theatre. Yeah, I remember that one. It's about the same time as Kenny Everett. It might even have been on opposite channels at the same time or something. It might have been a competing thing. But And then you had Joanna Lumley and David McCallum in, what was that called? The transuranic elements are excluded because they're harmful to life. Sapphire and steel. Sapphire and steel. Neither of which are elements. Sapphire's not an element. Steel's not an element. They rule out all these other things that can't be used and can't be brought in because life doesn't like the transuranic elements. But they're not elements. Sapphire's a compound and steel's an alloy. Yeah, no, bullshit. They got the science wrong right at the very heart, right at the very base of their TV program. But I was 7. They weren't going to listen to me. Fuck. Sapphire and steel. I think that was David McCallum's first thing after The Man from U.N.C.L.E. Which he wasn't even intended to be a main character in. He was a side. If you watch the first season of The Man from U.N.C.L.E., it's all in black and white, and David McCallum's a side character. He's not. But it became a thing, and they're talking on their radio pen. There's a tune to the way that it rang out. Spies with radios, and radios, instead of being as big as a backpack, were suddenly pen-sized, and that was a thing. The Man from U.N.C.L.E. The United Nations Campaign for Law Enforcement, maybe? U.N.C.L.E. With not Leo McKern. Leo McKern was the, he was Rumpole of the Bailey. Not that, not him. What was he called? I got a device here. The guy, the head of U.N.C.L.E. Hold on. We got to look it up, folks, because now I've mentioned it, and that's how shit works around these parts. You come here to learn things. I'm going to type head of U.N.C.L.E. And I guess I need actor rather than character. Head of U.N.C.L.E. Actor. I guess, because Leo G. Carroll, it was indeed, it was. Alexander Waverley was the name of the head of U.N.C.L.E. Can we get Robert Vaughan and Ilya Kuryakin? I had an Ilya here, if you remember, a few months back. There was a Russian lad called Ilya that was like rubbing my hot water all the time, wanting my coffee. Can we confirm U.N.C.L.E.? U.N.C.L.E. is... Hold on. Man from... Can we get rid of head of and we type man from... I'm fairly sure it is... that's not how you spell from. I've typed it like fuck. Man from Funkle is not a thing. Man drum Funkle. No. Fuck. Man from U.N.C.L.E. Not the 2015 film. That's gay. No. Henry Cavill. Henry Cavill's a good actor, but he's not Napoleon Solo. Get away. U.N.C.L.E. Talk to me about U.N.C.L.E. No. Acronym. What do I do? I just type U.N.C.L.E. acronym. Man from U.N.C.L.E. acronym. How do you spell acronym? Acronym. Yeah, there you go. United Network Command for Law and Enforcement. What the fuck? Why not United Nations? Why did you go United Network? That's an interesting, to me, maybe not to you. United Network Command for Law and Enforcement. I would have just gone United Nations, I don't know, Command Committee, something, law enforcement. I wouldn't have gone law and enforcement. I would have just said law enforcement. Why do you need the and? For law and enforcement. Why not United Nations? Why United Network? What does that even fucking mean? I am but a lowly tramp. I am your servant. A tramp sitting in a fucking field in Spain. A Brit trapped by circumstance. And I don't know why these writers made the choices they made. They're not necessarily the choices I would have made. Bernard, when he was on Faulty Towers. Oh, yeah, okay. Van der Valk, we're going way back. Am I that far behind in conversation? It says 22:27 there. I am half an hour behind, folks. Van der Valk was a fantastic TV series starring Barry Foster, who I believe, again, another one who died fairly recently, within the last, I'm going to say the last 5 years. Shall I check? Because sometimes I do this. I say someone died recently and it's within the last 20 years. I am bad like this. Let's type Barry Foster. I don't need to type actor. Everyone knows who Barry Foster is. And can sing the theme tune. I'll sing the theme tune myself momentarily. There he is. 2002. Okay, folks. So he only died 25 fucking years ago, nearly. 24, if you want to be precise. 11th of February. I mean, we're only a couple of weeks after the 24th. I told you how recently it was. Da 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 da. Da 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 da. Everyone with brass band connections is now fucking jumping in, fucking playing away. Brass bands love Van der Valk, or Eye Level as it is properly titled. Yeah. Okay, appears in Friends. He was in the Sweeney as well. And more. Let's have a look at how many more. Oh, more is it's fucking more. Oh, look at that. No, it's they name 4 things and say more, and more is, well, it's like 40 more. Fuck it, it's forever more. Everybody knows Barry Foster if you were around at that time. Apparently, Friends, it was his first film. There's a lot of famous films there. Wow. Wow. You got to look up. I'm not gonna list them here, but Jesus, no, you've heard of a lot of these films that he was in. Jesus, yeah. Barry Foster, folks. Van der Valk. Some of the ladies that appeared in Van der Valk. If you're a gentleman of a certain age, there were certain awakenings that, I can't even say the word, awakenings, that happened. Yeah, so some of the ladies in Van der Valk were very, very pretty ladies that went on to have famous careers afterwards. For the gents of a certain age, cheers. And I guess for the ladies from that time, cheers to the ladies. I'm not a perv, really. Man Called Horse, classic western. How did we get there? Do I remember Man Called Horse? I'm not sure I do. When I hear horse, I think of the guy out of Bonanza. Dan something or other. Was he horse or hoss? I'm not sure. You've also got the guy out of Dukes of Hazzard. Boss, no, what was he called? Boss Hog. Maybe I'm just mixing up the syllables, the os. That's different. Grot bags, she scared me as a kid. There's somebody at the door. There's somebody at the door. That was Rod Hull and Emu. Don't mention Man United. Don't mention TV aerials. Because that's awkward. Jasper is a fan of what he calls Italo westerns. Well, I think other people call spaghetti westerns. Excuse me. I think we've had this conversation. Oh, again. We've had this conversation before. With what are those two guys called? Bud Spencer. They sound British or American. Bud Spencer and somebody, and yeah. But you've also got the proper biggie spaghetti westerns. Lee Van Cleef, Clint Eastwood, what Good, the Bad, the Ugly, wasn't it? The Good, the Bad, the Ugly, and Fistful of Dollars More. There's 3 or 4 of those films, all unique. Can you have 3 or 4 that are unique together? Maybe not unique together. I don't know. I don't know how you would. But that's a thing. Those spaghetti. The Man with No Name. Yeah, all that Fistful of Dollars, Few Dollars More. Marie retracted a message. Maybe an accidental post. Tommy Tombstone says, good evening, WWW. I think he's calling us all. Man Called Horse trailer above actually have whole movie on YouTube. Okay, maybe I'll take a look later. I can't, obviously, if I click any link now, it ends the stream. That's no good for anybody if we do that. Actually decent seeing that it's from a cartoon. What? Now I'm out of the loop, but I'm also half an hour behind, so I can't spend. Oh, from a cartoon? No, I think that's meant to be cartoon, no? Marie says we have a 17-year-old terrier with kidney problems and pancreatitis, but a wonderful vet who keeps her going and wagging her tail. That's nice. As long as the creature in question isn't in pain, keep them going is what I say. My Tina gives no sign of any pain, but I wonder sometimes. I took her out the other day, and when I put the belt under her belly, around her waist, I accidentally caught her leg in the belt, and I'm walking along with her, and then I see the shadow at night in the moonlight, and I'm thinking, what the fuck? What's that? And I've got her leg caught in the, what do you want to call it? The belt, the harness, the whatever it is I'm carrying her by. And she didn't let me know for like 10 minutes. And I'm thinking, That's got to be painful. And she's not letting me know she's in pain. And if she's not letting me know she's in pain about this, what if she's not letting me know she's in pain about, like, life in general? And that causes a pause for thought. My assumption has always been, I'll take it to the vet, and we'll do the deed if it becomes obvious that she's in pain. But what if she doesn't let me know she's in pain? I mean, I love her. I like to cuddle her and kiss her, and I'm all over her all the time. What if I'm keeping her alive and she's in pain? And I just don't know it. But how it's a big what if, isn't it? I don't know. What do you do? How do you know? How do you know when it's time? At some point, probably this year, at some point it will be that time. I think. Her body is just deteriorating under her. But how do you know? And how do you let go? How do you pay when you're a fucking tramp in a field? Let's scroll. Farmer finds bottled red wine for $8.99. Probably less than €5. No, I don't think. Hold on. Farmer is in your Canuck, yeah? So it's a Yankee dollar rather than an American. Sorry, it's a Canuck dollar rather than an American dollar. Isn't there only 20% difference? You think less than €5? I would have put it more than. I would have put it 6 or 7, but I don't know the specifics. No, I can literally. I did this the other day. I found bottles of white for less than €1. Still, now liters. The bricks, the Tetra packs are all 1 liter. You don't get those less than €1, but you can still get white wine here in Spain less than €1. Not much less, like 87 or 90 cents, something like that. But you probably, you're not gonna, you probably wouldn't want it, but it exists. You maybe buy it to convert to vinegar within a few months. I don't know, but yeah. This has become the Farmer Show night. Yeah. Oh, this has become the Farmer Show night. He's posted a few links, hasn't he? Yeah. Yeast feeds on sugar, so a dough, is that? A da or a dab of yeast and 2 to 3 pounds of sugar. Yeah, your mix, you've always got the question of how much to put where, but feeds on sugar, but drowns in its own urine and carbon dioxide, its own output, its own excrement, its own excretia. So yeah, you have to air it off to keep the mix going. It likes oxygen to start, but after a while, I think it becomes anaerobic and doesn't want more. I'm not sure. And then to test the specific gravities and things, you need hygrometers, whatever one of them is. Not sure, don't know. Not going to do one. I'm a tramp in a field, so you know. Mike starts from the beginning. Marie, you go ahead and post. I think he's responding to Jasper now. If I get it, he's still steer him to you. Hold on. That's Mike starts from the beginning, Marie. You go ahead and post. I think he's responding. I'll respond to anybody when I see it. Your night. Okay, mate. That's the man from Uncle Movie. I was talking about the TV series initially from the 60s. There's a TV series, then there's a series of films that were in shocking, vivid, ultra bright color. What did they call it? Technicolor. So there was a black and white TV series. There's like 200 episodes, something like that. Then there's the films into the 70s, and then it became kind of legend with Robert Vaughn and Robert McCallum, Ilya Kuryakin. What was it? Napoleon Solo and Ilya Kuryakin. Yeah. And the Waverley bloke that we talked about earlier. Drunk as a skunk, as my grandma would say. Who? Not me, surely. Lots children programs too scary for children. Children like scary programs. It's a thing. Children want to be frightened. Hoss, man called. Is this the horse or the guy in the Western? Was it Bonanza or was it the other one? High Chaparral. Which one was it? Who had Hoss? I don't know. I've been putting off cooking until tomorrow, but let's get it, says Tom. Go for it, mate. I've been putting off cooking for about 3 days. My friend Tom came around this morning and brought me a breakfast. I didn't need to cook suddenly all day. I was getting ready to cook, then I didn't need to. And then my friend Mark came around and brought me all the alcohol. The whiskey and vodka. And I think I've done quite well to limit. This is only a, what is this, 300 ml? Hold on. 350 ml, 40% by volume. It's a 350 ml, and I've done, what, about a third of it, would you say? I'd call that about a third. So I've done like 100 ml, maybe just over. And a couple of cans of beer all day, maybe. I think this is the third can all day. Well, that's all right. It's been a long day. There's red and white for 60 and 70, says Tom. You're in Valencia, you're in a big city, maybe you get better discounts than us, I don't know. It was Bonanza and it was Hoss, not Horse. And the guy with the blue eyes was called Little House on the Prairie, wasn't he? Michael something or other, is it? Hold on, what was he called? And he did that other program with the angels. Little House on the Prairie and no idea. What was the angel thing called? He had his friend from Little House on the Prairie. I thought there's something weird going on there. The other actor, Michael Landon. Highway to Heaven, wasn't it? Highway to Heaven. Look at that. Fuck. For a guy who's really bad at remembering shit, I'm doing really well at pulling shit out my ass. Yeah. Little House on the Prairie, and then Highway to Heaven, and Bonanza. Not bad. Not bad at all. You say Highway to Heaven now. I got there before you. Landon, I think, with an N on the end. Foul team, however you're going to pronounce that. Some fog last night. It was the whole of yesterday afternoon into the evening was quite spectacular. Not seen that. We had it here once in a noon. In a noon? That's not even that's not even a sentence. We had it once here at noon on a Sunday. I think I've got a video of that. But I've never seen it in a late afternoon or an evening. No. Now it's been very wet here the last two or three nights. Outside of the tent with the dew. Dew is the word, isn't it? With the liquid, with the droplets. Oh, wow. But we also had the droplets inside last night. We had rain inside the tent at one point. Not in a big way. But it was wet. If you touched like the seal, it was wet. And yeah, that's the thing that happens sometimes. But not many days per year. And I've always said the latter half of February, I think, is the coldest part of the year. Google always says not. Google says January is colder than February, but in my humble experience, sometimes not so humble, I would say that late February is colder than January. And certainly the damp. You can get, actually, in summer, you can get these very, very wet nights, the same thing. It's that the amount of moisture that the day absorbs in the air, and then when it gets a bit cooler, on an evening, pushes that moisture out, and you can get caught off guard by a cold or cool wet night. Yeah. Okay, folks, I see right now there are 14 of you out there, and only 10 people in all this time. See, there's probably been 100 viewers already. People drop in and out. Some people don't know what this is, and they drop in for 2 minutes, 3 minutes. Some will hit the thumbs up, some won't. But I always appreciate the thumbs ups. If you could see your way clear. Let me check. I got to check the... We're down to 56% on the power on the phone. I'm just going to plug it in, top it up a little bit. Don't want to get much below 50%. Where are we? Tom's almost finished with Tommy Tombstone, almost finished with his amaretto and vodka. Should stop accepting gifts. I prefer to stick with beer, I think he's saying there. Some fog last night. That was, I don't know how, foul team or foul team. I'm not. I think I question it every time you come on board. Highway to Heaven it was, yeah. Which was like a precursor. What was the one? Oh. There's a black woman did a similar thing. Touched by an Angel. It wasn't Oprah, was it? Is this just me being racist now and thinking that all fat black women are Oprah Winfrey? Uh-oh. Could be. That's just me, isn't it? I have now outed myself. As well as saying those words the other night, I said all the words. The words you're not allowed to say. I said them all. Touched by an Angel. It's not Oprah. It's not Harpo. Touched by an Angel. American drama series. You're not telling me it's not even a black woman. It was definitely a fucking black woman. What are you on about? She was black as the fucking Ace of Spades. Who's the black woman? There's one black woman there, Della Reese as Tess in the... Apparently I've never heard of any of the people in this TV program. I've watched the TV program and I've never heard of any fucker in it. Some of these are not even fucking words. Cloris Leachman. Those are not even names. What are you? Cloris, not Clarissa, just Cloris. Roma Downey, Della Reese. I guess some of those are words. Maybe. Why do I remember a big black woman being the main character and the listings show only one black woman in the program? Born in 1931, died in 2017. Must have what, 85, 86? We 86. Yeah, okay. Singer, actress, television personality, author, and ordained minister. She packed a lot into her life. Wow. Hey folks, sometimes you live and you learn. And that's what I try to bring to you each and every episode. Every time I don't know something and I go and look it up, I'm trying to educate me and maybe you. Maybe a fact will stick. Like the fact that Touched by an Angel had a whole bunch of fucking actors that I could not name. I'm not claiming this is a good thing or a bad thing. I'm just listing facts, I guess. That one's not the greatest fact ever to admit to, I guess. But some of the other things that we mentioned. What was he called? In the guy that was the head of Uncle. See, I wanted to say Leo McKern, but I knew that was Rumpole of the Bailey, and I couldn't remember the other guy's name. Can we get back there now? Because I can't remember it, and that's annoying. When you've just looked something up, and then you don't know. Not Barry Foster, that was Van der Valk. Head of Uncle. Let's just talk head of Leo G. Carroll. I didn't even look at. It's not even there on the screen. I just remembered it myself, independently. Leo G. Carroll. Now you know. Maybe tomorrow you will know a fact you didn't know today. Let me go. I'm going to set chat to none and then come back to live chat just in case I'm missing some. I don't think I am, look. We got people saying Highway to Heaven, Michael Landon misspelt, and then Welcome Super. That's Oscar. Super is Super Enriched. That's Oscar. Fowl, I don't remember your name. Fall or foul? Are we going? Is it horses? Is it that? I don't think that's the right spelling, is it? But then I think I've asked this every time you've ever come on here, mate. So I do apologise. I'm obviously a bit of a twat. I'm reading it as foal, as in a baby horse, but I don't know. I've only been going an hour and a half. I haven't even been going an hour and a half, and I'm already running out of steam. Hold on. My mate Joby contacted me earlier. Can I read this? Joby had to have a shave today. He lit a cigarette last night and burnt half his moustache. Okay. Burnt hair isn't the best smell. No, burning hair is it's almost a vile smell. It's not a great smell. No. I gotta. Oh, that was me sending money to Karen yesterday. I thought I had a PayPal payment. I thought you guys were looking after me. But no, nobody. You see, I haven't put the pinned message at the top of chat. Nobody's looking after me with my PayPal link. I had to send money to Karen yesterday to put on my card because I'm getting a bit low on the cash. Obviously, this was before Mark arrived with 4 different bottles of alcohol. I get it, I get it. A lot of you are going to look at that and you're going to think, oh, we knew it, he's a fucking alky. It's always been a suggestion from the beginning. I think I mentioned today in a video that some people make a point, when they do bring me a drink, they make a point of making it be the Heineken 00, the non-alcoholic. It's kind of funny. It's kind of funny. But at the same time, it's kind of annoying. These people are going to great lengths and they're paying extra money to buy 00 booze. And I like a drop. And I'm not an excessive drinker. It's weird that people bring me 00 on the assumption, oh, don't bring the guy in the field, don't take him actual booze. Obviously he's in the field because he's an alky. No, just not. You could come and meet me, you could come and talk with me. You could come to me when I've gone 2 or 3 days and not touched a drop. Do I like a drop? God, yeah. Am I addicted? I don't believe so. Oh. Have I got the hiccups now, though? I've got the burps now. That's a thing. But yeah, it's. I can't tell you that I'm not an alky because you'll always think kind of the lady doth protest too much. It's always that, isn't it? It's always, it's like trying to tell someone you're not racist because you've got black friends or and I do and did and have, even though I say that word. I say that word. If you were here the other night, you heard me say that word. But I'm not racist. I'm not an alky. But I can't convince you that I'm not, because obviously you're always going to think me thinks he does protest too much, or she, depending on your. I could be trans, couldn't I? I think the lady doth protest too much. Here we go. Tommy Tombstone. Anybody? Hold on. Oh, no. Oscars. Anybody here familiar with electronics? Need to identify a fast blow fuse, also known as pico fuse. Pico means very, very small, doesn't it? Pico is beyond mini, micro. Is that the order? Mini, micro, pico. There might even be another word in between. Mini, micro, something, pico. Fuses. What are fuses measured in? Is that ohms? No, amps. They're measured in amps, aren't they? 13 amp, 18 amp, 3 amp, whatever. Anybody here with it? And I'm not the one to be asking about electronics. Tommy Tombstone says, no, sorry, my grandfather was the royal electrician, but he doesn't have a clue himself. We do have technical people here. Ifama and Co are here. They're the people who watch Big Clive and Scruff Dog. They're technical. They're what we call the technical family. I'm on the very outskirty edges of such company. I hang out. I do what's called bike shedding. If they were building a big building and a big office block and doing all the technical, they could be building a nuclear power station. I'd be commenting on what colour the bike shed should be. Should it be grey? Should it be black? Should it be green? I'm very, very much on the outskirts of that particular group. But bike shedding is a thing, and it is a management term if anybody wants to look it up. It's a real phenomenon. In fact, if I look it up, let's see what I find. I gotta enter a code. Okay. Delete that previous search and just type bike space shedding. Meaning, bike shedding. Oh, look at that. They've done it as one word. Really? It's a single word. The act of wasting excessive time and energy on trivial minor details while ignoring crucial, complex or important issues. Told you, if we were building a nuclear power station and I was discussing whether the bike shed for the staff, whether it should be black or green or blue, yeah, it's that. The law, often called the law of triviality. Minor issues are easier to understand and discuss. Yeah, people who've got no clue on the I wouldn't know fuck all about building a nuclear power station. But, you know, I could tell you whether the bike shed should be red or green or blue. Obviously, it should be British Racing Green, because Chitty Chitty Bang Bang. And Genevieve. These other things. Hold on. It's soldered into I think it's in a PCB. They're small and look similar to a resistor. A fastball fuse looks like a resistor. Hold on, PCB, printed circuit board, yeah? Hold on. Okay, damn auto text. Auto text does indeed get in the way at times, my friend. Yeah. I suffer with it all the time. Even worse, when you're typing and you miss the letter that you meant on the bottom and you hit the space bar, or you miss the space bar and hit another letter, and then you keep typing and it auto corrects the word and then you finish the word. So you're going to type ing and you've typed the I already. You go to hit N, but you catch the space bar. Autocorrect puts the NG there, and then you type NG, and the whole fucking thing goes tits up because autocorrect got in the way. I have this all the time. Autocorrect gets right in the bloody way. It's worse for me on Samsung devices than it ever was on any other device. I don't know if this is their programming. I don't know if I just can't hit the keyboard properly. It's problematic. Oh shit. I got the phone telling me not to go. Do you know what I haven't done? We're over an hour and a half in. I haven't introduced the show yet. At the stream, I haven't shown you Tina. We haven't done any of the things. Let's do some of the things. Okay, folks. The channel is Delta Mike, down and out in Torrevieja. Let me put a little bit more stable over there. Delta Mike, down and out in Torrevieja. Delta Mike, I am your eponymous hero. If that's what you want to believe. So I am Delta Mike, down and out in Torrevieja. Well, down and out. That's a guy who's homeless. A tramp, a hobo, a vagrant, an indigent person, a person of no fixed abode. Some, particularly Americans, would say a bum. Someone who lives rough, perhaps on the streets. In my case, in a field. And then nowadays, because I'm posh like that, in a tent in a field. But I used to just live in the field for months. And before that, in a different field for a couple of months. Done all the things. Delta Mike, down and out. In Torrevieja. Torrevieja is a city on the southeast coast of Spain. About 50 minutes south of Alicante Airport. And about an equal distance, about 50 minutes north of Murcia City. So here I am on the Costa Blanca South. Me, my doggy. Whoa! Something just... Did it run across here or did it fly in front of a light here and move? No, you fucker! You're a big fuck off spider. Get the fuck! Ah! Hold on, folks. Let me... Hold on. I'm gonna rescue you if you're lucky. If you're lucky, I'll rescue you. Wow! No, that fucker was huge. That was half as big as my hand. That was fucking... Oh, no. I thought I'd seen something. I thought it might have been a shadow, and then I looked and no, fucking there it was. Sorry, language. I try to keep things fairly PG. Apart from when I'm saying the N-word, then I cut loose because, obviously, there's no PG version of the N-word. That was big. That was big, and it was black. I could have used another word. Wow. Okay. Sorry. I kind of threw you down into the ditch because you're on the end of a wire and spider was in the fucking way. That's one of those instinctive... That's one of those instinctive things, isn't it? Spiders, certain animals, spiders, scorpions, snakes, you just have an impulsive reaction to that you can't control, you can't negotiate away. How big was it? About half as big as my hand. I was... By the time I unfurled the thing and I'm smacking it, it was fucking huge. Yeah. 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 No. About as big as my penis. So not that big in real terms, but... Shush. Was it a spider? It was indeed a spider. It had 8 legs. It was not an insect. It was an arachnid. It was definitely an arachnid. It was either a spider or a fucking crab, a land crab of some description. I think it was a spider. But I squealed like a little girl though, didn't I? So that's always fun. Feel free to clip it and release it. Fuck. I'm open to the accusation of being a squealy little fucking girl. Oh, do you know what I just did? I did it wrong again. We all know when I finish a beer, and we're only an hour and 40 minutes in, when I finish a can, I'm supposed to keep it. Because back here we have the sacred tripod. And the empty can is supposed to replace one of these full cans when I need, when I replace a beer. Now, what's just happened here, and you didn't even notice it? One of these beers had a no, not one of these beers. The lantern had a USB-C cable stuck up its backside, which is just disconnected and discombobulated. And now I need to go and put that back there. But give me a second. I'll reconnect. Otherwise it'll go dark in an hour or three. I think I caught the there we go. That's the middle setting. That's where we want to be. It's all gone very complicated all of a sudden. And I've not even opened the bloody new beer yet. EcoFlow's on 84%, so we're all good there. Been struggling a little bit with the power lately, folks. Ever since, I smashed I didn't smash, but the solar panel got smashed. I'm spending most of the day now drawing between 34 and 45 watts. In the past, we were drawing 70 or 80 watts and occasionally getting up around 100. That's not happening anymore. 34 to 40 is most of the day. Fortunately, the days are getting longer. We're getting, the days the hours with sun are getting longer. And we're having a good run weather-wise. We're having mainly clear days for now. Probably won't last forever. But, yeah. Hold on, I'm going to scroll back. A couple of catching vermin. Super. Here's a link. I'm not too fond of them, fellas, since my last. Gary and the spiders. Yeah, you were almost hospitalized, weren't you? By we don't have. I don't think Spain has anything too wacky. Certainly, I'm not used to anything too wacky spider-wise. I've had the occasional bite, comes up like a volcano. It can be like an open wound. I've had one that lasted maybe a month on my leg in the past here in Spain. I've got no idea what that was. Just a spider bite. When you're in an apartment and you're too warm and you stick a leg out of the bed overnight, and when you wake up in the morning you've got a bit of a bite. Yeah, I had one that wasn't good and that lasted a while. But overall, we don't have the tarantulas, we don't have the black widows, we don't have the brown widows and the pseudo fucking whatevers. We don't have any of that malarkey. Not that I know of. And not that I've ever experienced. And so, yeah, spider bites, they're a thing, but they're not a big thing. Generally, I don't think. Cheers, folks. Thank you for joining me. Today was a bit of a random one. The Tuesdays, as you know, I do Friday and Sunday are fairly regular. They're not meant to be fixed, and I did miss Friday last week. I slept right through it. When you wake up at 3 in the morning and realize you were meant to go live, at 9 or 10 o'clock, that's a thing. It's different. It's not usual, but it's a thing. But they're not. Nothing is fixed. The hangouts are meant to be random, but somehow Friday, Sunday became a regular thing. Tuesday is. How do I describe Tuesday? I have friends that go live Wednesday, so I try not to go live Wednesday. I don't go live Saturday again. The same. It's it's Big Clive and it's Scruff Dog. I'm tiny in comparison to both of them in terms of following, but I don't want to be muddying the waters. I don't want to be trying to steal their audience. I would actually lose my audience. Half of my audience would go away if I was competing against those guys. Obviously, people would be the people who know Clive and Scruff Dog would be over Clive or Scruff Dog. Tuesdays, one of the nights of the week I can do that's not directly after. So Monday I wouldn't do because I'd only just done Sunday. So Tuesday's okay. Wednesday I won't do because of the people. Thursday would be an option, but then it's right next to Friday, which I do anyway. It's complicated. Tuesday's an option, and I felt like it today. I don't really know why. I'll blame my friend Mark for he was leaving the country. His family have been collecting these. They've been buying cigarettes, and when you buy the cigarettes, you get these bottles, these vodkas or whiskies, and he said he was thinking of bringing me them like piecemeal, drop them off one at a time over a few weeks. But he's leaving the country. He just brought them. I will endeavour to take them steadily, carefully. Maybe. I will. No, I'm not a. I've said already, I'm not an alky. I will take them steadily. But I guess different people have different ideas of steadily, yeah? So I've just opened a new can of beer, but what I might do, I'm going to reach down here. And you can... I thought about... so my friend Mark is the sponsor. He is the official sponsor of this particular episode. Mark EZA Womble. Mark EZA Womble. I think... Have I put a link in the description of this, or was it in the description of a video earlier? If I haven't put a link already, I will do it later. Or you could search Torrevieja Sandman. Now he's trying to get above a certain threshold, a certain number of viewers. I'm not sure whether it was on YouTube or whether it was on name another platform. Photographs. It's a social media, but it's very much photographs. I don't do it. I don't have it. I don't know it, so I don't remember the name of it. He's trying to get to 1,000 so that he can go live while he's drawing his big pictures on the beach. Name a photography website. It's not my thing, so I don't know. But I'm gonna pour a fucking drink anyway, in honor of Mark. He will be back home by now, I think, like in his house home. He was flying at 5, which I think means he should land by 8, and in most parts of the UK, you'll be home 2 hours after the airport, maybe. Instagram. That's a fucking word, isn't it? Instagram. If you can go and look on YouTube and on Instagram, Mark EZA. So EZA, like as in he is a. Mark EZA Womble. Womble. Mark, he's a womble. That'll be him. Certainly on YouTube. I'm not sure of this. I'm not sure of his handle on, like I said, Instagram. I don't do Instagram. But I'll try and point you to him and his artwork. If you look up on either of these channels, Torrevieja, like the end of my name here, Delta Mike Torrevieja, the Torrevieja, that's Torrevieja. If you look up that and Sandman, all one word, Sandman, like the guy who throws sand in your eyes to make you sleep. If you know your mythologies. Mark's been drawing. He's developed a technique. He's quite artistic. I didn't know this when I first met him. He's musical as well. Hold on. I think he's a drummer by trade, by a drummer and a music teacher. I think that's right in saying. Mark, if you're out there, correct me. But that's right, isn't it? You're an instructor and like a school teacher, a peripatetic school. There's a good word. Don't ask me to spell that, fucker. Peripatetic. Now I gotta look it up because I haven't had a sip. Let me have a sip. How would you guess? Peripatetic. Would you tell me it's even a word? I'm going to go, obviously, P-E-R-I, peri. Single R or double? Peri, P-A-T, peripatetic. There you go. P-E-R-I-P-A-T-E-T-I-C. Oh, that's foreign. That's not the right flavour. Here we go. Dictionary, Oxford. That's a good dictionary. Travelling from place to place, in particular working or based in various places for relatively short periods. Peripatetic. Now, peri, I would have thought meant around, like perimeter, but the pathetic? Where does that come from? The peripatetic nature of military life. And then, hold on. A secondary Aristotelian. So appertaining to Aristotle. How a person moves from place to place, especially a teacher who works in more than one school or college. How is that Aristotelian? Why Aristotle? So if you know the correct order of your three main philosophers, Socrates, Plato, Aristotle. That's the order. Spar, if you know the supermarket. Spar. Why is peripatetic? Why is that Aristotelian? I don't know the connection. I mean, I'm going to guess historically Aristotle travelled, but peripatetic. Good word. I like to pull nice words out my ass every now and again, and you can learn something. What do we say every time? I like to say, it's not why you came here, but you learned something today. Feel free to correct me. If you knew peripatetic as a word already, tell me to fuck off and that you didn't learn something new. Because that's okay as well. You are allowed, we're all grown-ups here, you're allowed to swear at me like I swear at you. Great Gary, he said hello to Tina. I haven't... I started to point at Tina, didn't I? And then I think I broke off because reasons. Hello, babe. Oh, you're asleep. That's no good. If people want to talk to Tina, you're gonna have to wake up. Hey, babe. Hey. Yeah. Can I point the people at you? I don't think a flashlight's gonna harm you. Let me do the things, folks, because we are nearly 2 hours in, and I don't think I've done Tina. I don't think I've introduced Tina once yet. Let's do the things. She will be down here. She's that black mass there. If you give me a second, I will introduce some lighting over there. And then I will glance back of her head. Well, apparently I'm live, which must mean that at some point I wasn't. Hey, babe. Hey. Can we see a Tina girl? Oh, you got cold ears. I'm gonna wrap you up in a minute and oh, you have got cold. Is it that cold? I didn't even notice it was cold. I'll have a look at the temperatures in a minute, folks. I think it's colder than I thought. We must be in single digits for our ears to be that cold. Hey, babe, I'm sorry. Daddy woke you up. Daddy woke you up. Because we're talking to the peoples. I told you earlier we were going to talk to the peoples. I know. You're not that keen. You're not that bothered, are you? Tina says, fuck the peoples. Get me wrapped up. Okay, babe. It's okay. Daddy's gonna wrap you up. You wanna go underground? You're going underground. Okay. Back to me then, folks. I'm gonna get, because of how cold her ears were. Hold on. Yeah, my ears are cold. I hadn't noticed it was cold. Hold on. Give me a second. Torrevieja weather once I log in. Hold on. Once we stop looking at peripatetic and other nonsense. Here it says 12 degrees and foggy. 11 degrees and foggy. 11. It's gonna drop to 7 tonight, which is obviously a lot cooler than usual. I would have thought that was colder than 11. My ears don't normally feel like this until they're about 8 or 7. I don't know. Tomorrow's going to be a high of 20, and it's going to be solid sun all day. It's going to be solid sun all day. Obviously it's not sunny now because it's night, but yeah, it's going to drop to 7 degrees tonight, 7 or 8. But this apparently they're saying it's not 7 or 8 yet. That's later. I don't know. Not sure. If my ears feel this cold, that's usually saying it's about 8 around me. But I don't know. I'm not a thermometer. But I can go by experience. Yeah, is that? Yeah, we're on 66%. Let me scroll. Farmer said, and he said this at 23:43, which is quarter of an hour ago. Farmer said, pound, smash, poke, prod, press, push, punch, slap, chop, bump, tap, flick, kick, click, lick, rub, slam the like button, and consider subscribing. He didn't say consider, but I watered it down a little bit. Tommy Tombstone says it's pretty much spring. It's getting that way, yeah. Through the day, I'm warm. Through the day, I'm too warm. I'm considering pulling my fan out of the bedroom and I'm putting the fan on to circulate the air and get it cooler. Farmer says, just sent YouTube short if you recognize something on it. Super. The second link is to website. It's encased in a black plastic sleeve. Thanks, Farmer. Clear underneath. It's an old Samsung charger, obsolete now. Do you have a model number on there? Possibly, asked Greater Gary. It's a plain plastic UK 3-pin plug. I can't even find schematics for the PCB. Remind me? PCB. Printed circuit board. Yeah. Oh gosh, yeah, that's going to be hard to trace the fuse you need. Yeah. I fixed a Milwaukee charger by jumping across fuse with wire. You could try with a fine wire. Yeah, if you're not sure of your wattages, your voltages, your amperes, yeah. Things can go bang. Jump it across the fuse leads not from anywhere else, just across. If you bypass a fuse, it's like the old coat hanger fucking thing, isn't it? It depends what made it fuse in the first place. Why did it blow the first fuse? If it's something and nothing, you get to run it for a while. If it was something deadly and you've bypassed it with a big lump of metal, you create deadly things. Yeah, but why did it blow in the first place? Yeah, that's the thing, guys. That's the thing. If you've got sometimes fuses just go because of their lifespan or because of whatever. If it's something and nothing, you can just use a big hook from a coat hanger. But if it blew because of something deadly, you're creating a deadly incident. Frank Nadovady, hello, hello, hello. That was at 23:55, which is 8 minutes ago. I'm 8 minutes behind. Yeah, like Farmer said, you got to find the real reason it blew in the first place. Otherwise, if you jump it, you're creating a death trap. Certainly damage and maybe death. Yeah. Um. Yes, you need to find out why the fuse blew, or it's going to keep happening. Yeah. Hello, Frank Nadobody, said Gary. -9C here now. That's like my fridge. My fridge keeps telling me it's -9C. And then I turn it off for 5 minutes and it's +4. It's about 7mm excluding the legs, says Super Enriched Oscar. I'm going to have to go for a wee-wee in a minute, guys. We are on 2 hours, which normally I would go well about 3 or 4 before needing the loo, but I think because my mate Mark brought me the whiskey earlier. I'm gonna have to go. I gotta go. It's actually building real quickly. I'm gonna hit the microphone. I'm gonna turn the sound off, folks. Right, it is only over there, and it is, the evacuation will be audible. I think I'm hoping I emptied the bottle earlier. I hope I don't have to waste time now going outside and emptying. I'm hoping the piss pot's empty. Give us a second. 1 minute. My towel wasn't there to wipe my hands on. I got the soapy water, I washed my hands, but I haven't got the towel to fucking dry. I got no clue. There's 2 or 3 cars over in the field, not the field, over on the cliff top over there, and they're cheering and chanting to each other. But I don't know what the occasion is, but they're having a fun time. Fair play to them. That's allowed. I don't get to dictate what other people can do on the cliff tops. It's just a little bit loud sometimes. I'm scrolling. Frank, hold on. I once fixed an old battery tender by wiring it in a blade type fuse. Okay, this is a car thing, yeah, the blade fuse. Blade fuse holder instead of fumbling around with glass ceramic tube fuses. Super, that's Oscar. Super, yeah, find the fault or wait till you find a similar fuse. I'm thinking there might be a short in a transformer. I'll keep looking. Thanks, everyone. Yeah. How's that whiskey, Delta Mike? The whiskey, I'll be honest, it's a blended, so it's not like a single malt. Not that I'm a connoisseur, and not that I'm any kind of prig, but doesn't quite have the burn as I remember. It's nice, it's okay. I haven't got a problem with it. There is a burn. It's not the burn I remember. So I don't know. It's look at that. I've said before. People think tramp equals alky, equals someone who's been around a lot of spirits and things. I'm not normally a spirit drinker. I do like a brandy. I do like a whiskey. I do like a vodka. I'm no expert on any of them. I'm a beer drinker mainly. Truth be told, I'm a beer drinker, and not even a lager. Lager's not my thing. Lager is something I put up with because I'm in a country that doesn't have proper ale. I'm a bitter drinker back in the UK. Now we can argue about bitter versus IPA, and purists argue about it and say they're not the same. I don't give a fuck. A pint of bitter, a pint of IPA, to me they're the same bloody thing. I could drink a pint of mild. Although people used to complain that mild was just a name for the slop tray from out of the bottom of the bar. Everything mixed together kind of thing is a mild. It's not technically true, but it's a pejorative. It's a way of having a dig at someone who drinks mild. I'm no expert. I'm a guy who just drinks. You know what I mean? I'm a drinker. I like a drink. Could somebody call me names and call me an alky? Yeah, people could call me an alky. People do. You'll see it. If you've been around here a while, you'll have seen it. It doesn't take into account that 5 months I went without. I didn't even have a cup of coffee. 5 months with not just no alcohol, but not even any coffee. So when I've got a few euros in the bank, do I make sure I've got some beer in? Yeah. Do people bring me beer and other alcohol? Yeah. Mark asked to be the sponsor of my next broadcast or two. We didn't know I was going to do one tonight, neither did I. But Mark, he's a womble. I will put a link to his YouTube and to his Instagram. I didn't remember the name before. I don't know specific. I'll have to search for his Instagram. I don't know how to search for Instagram. I know nothing. Mark is a womble or Torrevieja Sandman. Them's the terms, and he's developing his techniques over time. He started with a stick, and then he got a rake, and then he's doing things. He knows how to ruffle it. He knows how to flatten it. He's developing technique over time. Fair play to him. And sometimes he's got an audience while he does it. He's now getting recognised in the street because he's doing the videos and he's got this floppy hat and he does the art. He's got people recognising him. Do you know, in all the time I've been doing YouTube, nobody's ever recognised me. Not a single fucking time ever. One lady recognised Tina. that was a surprise to me. She recognised Tina from the videos, not me. Oh, it's Tina! She shouted, and she was German, and she had no other English words. But yeah, oh, it's Tina. Nobody has ever recognised me in the fucking street. Mark's got a fraction of my audience, but he's now getting recognised when he goes out and about, because I guess if he stood by the beach and he's doing the things, he's doing the pictures, the art, sand art, I guess we're gonna call it. So it's not sand castles, but it's pictures. Take a stick and write some words and drag a rake and flatten a bit and yeah, no, fair play to the lad. I say the lad, I think he's older than me. He looks older than me. Sorry, Mark, I've got no idea, but I'm guessing that you are. Yeah, so it's all good. So hold on. How's the whiskey, Delta Mike? The whiskey's fine. I'm enjoying the whiskey. Let me show you. If you've only just arrived, I'm that far in. It's what was it, 350 mil. It looks like I'm about halfway there now, maybe a bit less. I don't know. Depending on where you want to draw the line, I'm about 170 mil in. Is that? Whoa! I think that makes it about a quarter of a bottle, maybe. Is it? If a bottle was 700 mil, 750. Pick your number, draw your line. I'm enjoying life. Farmer isn't bad. He was freezing his ass off all day Monday. That's yesterday, yeah? Warm is coming tomorrow, though, right? I saw -1 for a high tomorrow here, maybe even 2C. Frank's got he's got warmer temperatures coming. It's getting warm. Well, by warm he means above freezing. Back at the beach there was a local legend who went by the name Coconut Kevin. Great artist and amazing fisherman. Even had a song written about him, Coconut Kevin. Caught your video on the fog and that was awesome. Thank you for sharing. I had two. I had fog and then I still had fog 3 hours later, so I did a second video. Some people didn't appreciate it, shall we say. and some did. To those that appreciated it, thank you. To those that didn't, fuck you, what can I do? I do what I do. The entire aim of the channel is kind of just to document my life, for better or for worse. Whether I'm drunk, whether I'm sober, whether there's fog, whether there's sunshine, the channel is just to say, here I am. This is it. This is what it was. This is how it was today. Obviously, it has to be excuse me, has to be notable to some extent for me to actually make a video. So many days go by that are just not notable. If all I'm doing all day is managing solar power and turning on and off the fridge as and when I have enough power to power it, it's not exactly a video, is it? It's not a thing. Now, to me, it's a thing. It's my life. I have to, especially now the solar panel's broken. It's not bringing in 70, 80, 90 watts. It's bringing in 30 and 40 watts. It takes twice as long to charge the batteries as it used to. So there's a balancing act. And some of the things like the sausages and the fruit or the veg in the fridge, it's a balancing act. It's more difficult to balance. I mean, how many ways can you say it? It's a thing, and it needs balance. It needs somebody to make a decision. Okay, we've been running the fridge for 2 hours, but now we're down to 70%. Let's turn everything off and get back up to 90, 95% on the battery. Balance. Yeah. It's a thing, folks. Now, if anybody wants to help donate, if anybody wants to donate and give me a bit of extra cash so I can go and buy another solar panel. I have had, okay, let me put this, I got to be delicate in how I word this. I think I had one friend misunderstand how desperate the situation was, and so donated thinking I had no power. And so I rejected the donation. I refunded the donation. And I had another friend the same day send me the same amount of money, but didn't look like there was no misunderstanding. So I accepted that donation after querying with them and asking, do you understand? It's not that desperate. It's not no power. It's reduced power. And they made it clear that they understood that, and therefore I accepted one donation and I rejected another, both from friends. I just wanted to make sure I didn't take money under a misapprehension, under a falsity or falsehood. I thank you both. I thank both people, both persons, both couples actually. But I accepted one donation and I rejected another. Same day, same amount. One clearly knew that it wasn't kind of life or death, and the other sounded like they thought without a donation and a new panel that it was like life or death. Without power, you're out. It's not. I'm not without power. I'm on reduced power. And so I didn't feel comfortable accepting that donation. We've discussed it. We've said it. It's good. It's a good friend. Sends me money every month. Really regular donor. Really appreciate him and his wife. But it's a thing, isn't it? You don't want to be taking money under. It's not that I would have been taking money under false pretenses. It's that maybe somebody could have accused me of that later on down the line. Some things in life you have to be really careful about. Sometimes it's an immediacy. Sometimes it's something that can be said or done in the future. And this was one of those that could have come back to kind of haunt me later on. And so I refunded now. Do I regret? Do I have doubts? Oh, it'd be nice to have that money now rather than not have it, but that's not the question, is it? That's not the question. Do you want somebody else to be able to come along later and say, hey, you did that and you did that wrong? Or do you want to keep it clean and have no doubts, no issues? That's supposed to have been silenced. Why is that making a noise? Frank. Let me. I got to scroll the other way. I thought I'd already put the do not disturb thing. Frank. Thank you, my friend. But not necessary. I know. I know you're a nice guy. And hey, babe. Hey. Tina's. You're shaking. It's okay. Back to Frank. Frank Nadovity. I always feel guilty when I start talking about donations on the PayPal link, and then the donations come in. The e-begging accusation, the e-begging question is an obvious tightrope that I walk. Obviously I need money to survive. I don't want to be DSP. If you've ever watched Dark Side Phil online, he sets a target, and if you don't donate €50 by the end, or $50 by the end of the stream, I need $200. I need them. It's a tightrope, isn't it? Clearly, I need money. Like anybody, all people in life need money. Most of you have got a way of earning it. My circumstances are such that I don't and can't. I try. I don't even know whether I can call this entertainment, what I do here. I'm documenting my life, my struggle. We got the whole far right thing as soon as you say my struggle, Mein Kampf. Fuck. We're off into a fucking territory now, aren't we? My struggle, Mein Kampf. That's not where I intended this to go tonight. Just because I didn't like that Star Wars trilogy doesn't mean I'm a fucking Nazi. It's not that. Fuck. Hey, I said the N word a couple of times the other night. Again. But that's. I'm not. That's not. It's not. It's not a thing. Um. Shit. Help. I got nowhere to go with this. Um. You got to make up your own minds. You got to make the decisions you got to make. If I'm that guy, could I dye the mustache? Just am I that guy? Is that the thing? I hope you can all see it's not. It's not. I am not a transphobe, a homophobe, a misogynist, a sexist, a racist, all of the ists and phobes. They're words, you can try and apply them. People have. Just because I say words, because I believe everybody should be able to say every word. Why can one fella say that word and I can't say that word? A black rapper can say that word, but I can't say it. Fuck off. We've had that discussion. We've done that. I've said those words. I'll say them again one day. This isn't that day, probably. Not yet. But the other night was. Say the words. Sticks and stones may break my bones. Words will never hurt me. Or anyone else. I don't believe in having my speech policed, and I will fight in a literal sense to not have my words be policed. I will go fisticuffs, I will go hands on to defend my right to say words. But I do that in a respectful and a meaningful manner. I've never. I did once call somebody the N-word as an actual insult. It was a con man on the phone trying to rob people of money. Yeah, I'm not going to tear myself apart about it. I'd probably, if another con man called me trying to con people out of, you're trying to con an 80-year-old woman out of, I'd probably call him a fucking name again if he was black and the name fit. Probably. Is it a word I use normally in day-to-day life? No. Not even in extremis. Not even usually in extreme circumstances. Do I reserve the right to use the fucking word? Yeah. Fuck yeah. It's a word. Words are for using. We can discuss and debate under what circumstance and when and where and why and how. We can do all that. I'm happy to do all that. But do you get to just tell me in absolute terms, thou shalt not say that word? Fuck off, no. You don't police my speech in that way. You are live. They knew I was saying the N-word and so they cut me off. I didn't say the N-word. I was discussing whether I could say the N-word. And I could. And I would. And under some circumstances, I would argue that I should. These are all things we could discuss, folks. These are all things we could discuss, and I'm happy to discuss. I'm just not happy to be told in absolutes that I may or may not. I'm funny like that. Funny with a floppy hat or something. I don't know. Hey, Tina. Daddy, sit up. You're alright there. Tina's okay. Let me entertain you. I'm going to take that. That's... Oh, I thought that was empty. I thought it was more empty than it is. Nope. I thought it was empty. I was going to go and put it under the... It's currently a bipod. It's supposed to be a tripod. But I ejected the last can. Crushed it. So now we only have... Back here, look. Oh, look at that. That's quite... I wasn't expecting it to be so so bright. Under the lantern, we only have 2 cans. It's a bipod, not a tripod. It's less than ideal. But what can you do? So when I forgot, when I emptied the last can, when I finished the last can and screwed it up and threw it away rather than placing the empty back under the lamp, we went from a tripod to a bipod. These things happen sometimes. Where are we? I think I read this one. Back at the beach, there was a local legend who went by the name Coconut Kevin. Great artist and amazing fisherman. Even had a song written about him. Caught your video on the fog. That was awesome. Thank you for sharing. I do my best to share meaningful moments in my life, whether they're meaningful to you or not. That's a separate question. My co-worker lives off-grid mainly and at his girlfriend's house, but his main source of electricity is an eco-flow, and he was amazed I knew what it was. Well, there you go. I have been educating people as to eco-flows for 2 years now. I think 2 years. It's a shame that my solar panel got knackered in the wind recently, but yeah, the EcoFlow itself is great. I did have a little bit of trouble with it just before that, didn't I? Where the BMS, is it called? Battery Maintenance System? I think it's BMS. The BMS got confused, and I was on 50% power, and it wouldn't accept a charge, and I had to use 3 percentage points to get down to 47, and then it came alive. That was a guess. That was I was stuck. Without that, I was bollocks. That I had no idea, but that worked. So yeah. Let's have a look. Co-work. It's all good, Mike. About another 4 or 5 years, my beard is going to be as grey as yours. Fuck off. I want to. I'm going to take the coffee and start staining mine brown again. Tommy Tombstone says dinner is served. Apparently, Tom's got his food ready. All the derogatory remarks I've heard of being of Polish descent just make me laugh. Knowing how many great people have done so much, derogatory words about Polish. I only know Polak, and I don't even think is it derogatory or is it just descriptive? Is that not like saying Canuck for a Canadian, or what, Brit for a British, or is there a derogatory term for a British, for a Britisher, for an Englishman? I don't think so. Have we got derogatory terms? Like you've got jock for Scottish, and you've got Paddy or Mick for the 2 different types of Irish. Patrick and Michael. Paddy is the south, as in the Republic, and Mick is for the north. St. Michael, Paddy, Mick, Jock. I don't even. Hold on. Why do I not know any derogatory terms for English? That's got to be just be a gap in my education, folks, right? You got to have them. Give them to me now. Send me the. What are you going to call a. I mean, you've got Angle and Anglo-Saxon, but they're not derogatory. They're just words. Paddy, Mick, Jock. What's an Englishman? There must be. I'm sure the Scots, the Jocks, and the Paddies, they'll have words for us that we don't want to hear. Do I know any of them? I don't think I do, folks. Send them over. What are the naughty words? How do you describe the English when you're not being nice? I honestly, this must be a gap in my education. I must know these words and they're just not ringing. They're just not sticking. No? What are you calling us? You got to have words. Of course you've got to have words. We should have words for us. What do we call ourselves when we're being derogatory to ourselves? I'm going to kick myself when you tell me them, and I'm going to go, fuck, I knew that word. Yeah, I knew that. I knew that. Come on. What are the words? Let's have the words. Polish. I only know Polak as a, and I don't know whether that's just a descriptive or whether it is a like a malicious, whether it's a naughty word or not. I don't know. Takes a few bad apples to spoil the cider. No, the cider's made with bad apples. All the apples in cider should be bad. Good evening, Frank. Okay. Tom and Frank are saying hello. Just having my supper, be here soon. Frank, yes, Delta Mike. He's had a similar situation where he needs to almost discharge it completely for it to return to full charge. Yeah, there is a known procedure where you take an EcoFlow down to zero and then all the way up to full without using it while it's charging. These are two things. You take it all the way down to zero, and while it's charging, you take it all the way up to 100% without interfering, and this recalibrates the battery management system, the BMS. I had a different thing where it was stuck on 50 and it just got confused. It wouldn't go higher. The solar panel was connected. There was power coming in. It knew there was power. It just wasn't going anywhere. It wasn't charging. I had to take it down three. It's like when it's on 100% and you have to take it down to 97 before it'll start charging again. It rejects the power when you're on 100% or 99 or 98. It won't charge. So you take it down to 97 and then maybe a bit below, and it wakes up and charges again. It did that, but it was on 50. So you had to take it down to 47, 46, and it woke up and started doing. Strange but true. Yeah. You must ask the Scots, the Irish, and the Welsh. I've no idea, says Tom. Yeah, they'll have words. Sassenach is a word, isn't it? I'm not sure. Well, here we go. You come here for an education, folks. What does Sassenach actually mean? And how do you spell it? Here we go. Do you want my guesstimate of how to spell it? Sassanach. I'm going to go with Sassenach. That would be my guess at the spelling. Google agrees, but also has double S in the middle as a variant. Derived from Scottish Gaelic Irish, meaning Saxon. Used to refer to an English person. So a Saxon, the name Saxon comes from a knife or an axe. It was a weapon that they brought over with them. Um, Saxon was a person with a specific kind of axe. Frequently employed in a condescending, humorous, or derogatory manner by Gaelic speakers. I only just thought of it. Sassenach. Yeah, that's a word used for the English. I don't know why. What does it, is it actually meant to mean anything? It just means Saxons, referring to Saxon invaders. So it just means you're not from here really, you're German or you're German, Austrian, Austro-Hungarian, whatever you want to. Popularized by the TV show Outlander as a pet name for an English woman. I don't think so. It exists. I knew long before. I knew it long before that TV series. No. We can argue about single S or double S. Sassenach, but based on Saxon. You're right. I still don't know any actual hostile. Where are you going there? A German adjective colloquial. What are you doing? What's this? Schuschelig. Schuschelig. Often pejorative. German adjective. Used to describe someone scatterbrained. Oh, this is that's not this. That's a conversation from earlier. I looked something up earlier that's related. A friend of the channel who got a head injury a few weeks ago and seems to be struggling to come to terms with it as we progress. Carrots, chickpeas, and chicken in a stew. What's for dinner? Are you being served? That's I'm free, John Humphreys. What's for dinner? Are you being served? And Tommy Tombstone answered about carrots, chickpeas, and chicken in stew, self-serve. Okay. Sassenach, said Tom. I believe translates to Saxon. It does, but with an N. N for November. Sassenach. As in Sac. So you get the Saxon. Oh, Tom, he corrected. He put the N in himself afterwards. Okay. You're an angled socks on toes. Best washrooms. It is all based on Saxon, and Saxon was based on a knife type weapon, whether you would call it an axe, as in sax axe. I don't think it was truly an axe. I think it's a long knife. It's almost not a spear, but it's a slashing weapon. Yeah. It's where the term Saxon comes from. And then Essex and Wessex was based on those peoples. The regions are named after the peoples. And away we go. Words and terms and things branching off from each other. As words and terms do, folks. We are 2 hours and 46 minutes in. Thumbs ups, always welcome if you haven't already. I got my girl pushing against me back here. I don't think for any specific reason. No? No. Not for any specific reason. I think I'll leave her alone. It would be nice to share her with you. And it would get some more likes, I'm sure, but that's not the way we work, is it, babe? If you're awake, I'd share you with the peoples. But you're not awake, you're sleeping. My girl's asleep. My girl's not my girl's mad at me. That's a madness song, isn't it? My girl's mad at me. But I don't remember it. That's all I remember of it. That's not this. I am but a all good farmer. We missed all that snow. Glad the south finally got some real snow to keep them occupied. 3 feet in some places. How far south do you have to be for that? I remember when I went to Vermont. God, what year would that be? 2008. I went the week after that they'd cleared. They was talking about 10-foot snow drifts, and the snow plow had gone through and blown it all. So there was still some snow in a pile. Do you want to call it? But it wasn't the big stuff they were talking about that had been there the week before. Yeah, no, it was like three. When I was there, it was like 3 foot tall, and it was packed. This was where they were just waiting for this to. They were just waiting for it to melt. But they'd had these 10-foot fucking not even drifts, but blown by the snow plows, not ice plows, snow plows. I don't have the vocabulary. We don't have these things in England. We have gritters. No, not really. We used to have gritters. Frank saying, okay, by south he means New York. New York, New York. The biggie, the city, not the state. Province, province? Providence, Rhode Island. Providence I would have gone with. 24 inches plus on Cape Cod. Don't know where that is. Tom says, come again. Yeah, New York was over 2 feet, 36 inches, and still coming down almost a meter. Almost a meter, I bet. Okay. Right. Yeah, okay. Some places are quite cold and quite a lot of precipitation of one flavor or the other. Typically the frozen precipitation, which is what we're talking of. Thank you for the information, folks. I apologize for my ignorance and, well, no, my ignorance and ignorance. I haven't got another. There's no and. It's just my ignorance. Sometimes I hear you guys talk, and sometimes I understand what you're talking about, and sometimes I'm fucking clueless. And I welcome being clueless, to be honest. I like to hear about things beyond my ken, as my Scottish brethren might say. And also Dutch. Scottish and Dutch share the word ken. I think some of the Norwegians and the other Scandinavians, I think, have ken. Beyond my ken. Ken is knowledge. It's beyond your knowing, your ken. I ken what you mean, as I once said and got laughed at by a bunch of children, not because I was wrong, but because I was English and saying ken. Children. What did Cher say? Words are like weapons, they wound sometimes. But they're not like sticks and stones. They don't break your bones. Not usually. Words are like weapons, they wound some. Is that the same song where she was sat on the gun barrel with a bit of tape round her tits and down around her crotch? I think it was. Let's ask Google. Google knows all. I'm gonna say Cher, tape, and tits. See whether it. I apologise to any ladies listening. I do not cheap. Oh, that's no. I got a V in. No, that's not even the right words. Share. That's not even a thing. Look, and tape has an E in it, not a tap. Share tape. There we go. Sorry, ladies. I do apologise. Share rocks heart-shaped nipples pasties. What displays fabulous figure at 67? Don't think that's where I was going. Twitter is confused and enthralled by Cher's right breast at the B. I don't even know what the BBMAs are. Nipple pasties? Pasties? I gone. I need to take another turn. That's not where I was intending to go with any of this. Share tape. Words. Wound. Let's. Words are like weapons. They wound sometimes. Let's. Was anyone else really confused by Cher when they were a kid? No? What? Words are like weebles. They wound sometimes. No. Words are like weapons. They wound sometimes. Nobody was confused by that. You're a fucking weirdo. You're deaf or something. It is, if you look at Cher from the 60s and then from the 90s and then from the noughts, it's a totally different animal if you pardon the phraseology. Animal. She was very plain in the 60s. Somehow she ended up sexy in the 80s and 90s. And I'm not exactly sure how. There's got to be some plastic surgery involved and some sculpting of the cheekbones or something. Because she was a horse in the 60s. I got no. What do I. I wish I had the technology to show you what I was about to look at, but I don't, and it's not even here. But Sonny and Cher versus 1990 Cher are entirely different beasts. Okay. Let's ignore. No, look, there she had breasts. There she had nothing. There it was a bit of tape. There she's got cheekbones bigger than Mount Everest. There she doesn't. It was now you see me, now you don't with the fucking cheekbones, folks. It's incredible. And then there's the breasts that come and go. Apparently she's 79 years old right now. 79. But the changes that she's undergone, the massive cheekbones and just massive cheeks and then not the very flat cheeks, the massive breasts and then not breasts. I well, I wouldn't. How much of it's real? It's just now in the now she was kind of pretty in the 60s, but pretty in a plain kind of way. Would I would 1960s I would. 80s and 90s. It's different. It's not. I gotta say, wouldn't. It's. Let me show you. There's. I know. This is not a way to do tech. This is not the best tech. There are better ways of doing this. But there she is. That's a pretty young lady. Look at the cheekbones. Okay, look at the cheeks. There's not that much flesh on the cheeks. The cheekbones are there, but there's not that much flesh. Okay? Where do I go for the next picture? I was here. Here. Can you see that? Where's all that flesh come from on the cheeks? There's so much filler and pad. That wasn't there. The face filled out so much. And then a few years later, it's gone again. She's fucking skinny. How do you do the one or the other? It makes no. It's surgery. It's surgery. It makes no fucking sense otherwise. It's not a thing. You or I, we don't slim down and pack it on and pad out and lose it down. That's not a. Sherry 79, yeah. Going out. Is she going out with a 31-year-old? You believe in love after life. It's silicone. The padding and the cheeks and the chops and the. I don't know what it is, but I enjoyed watching her sit on those big guns. Was that if you could turn back? Was that if you could turn back time? If you could turn. Is that the same song? That's the same song about the words that can hurt. Words are like weapons, they hurt sometimes. And she sat astride the big guns on a big military boat. I think an aircraft carrier, but I don't remember the specifics. Interesting lines. It's a clever phrase for a song. It's a good hook. Liked it. And she was at peak. Well, I guess I'm going to say she was at peak menopausal. She was at that age where she was a little bit too old, but still looked like she was up for it. Sorry, ladies, if there's any ladies out there, but that's kind of the age she was. She was that little bit too old, but not too old. Yeah, and she was crossing her threshold, and the dress with the two ribbons coming down to the crotch and over the nips, and it was suggestive. It was suggestive of a period of time. Yeah, I would. It's a guy thing. It's a man thing. Shut up. If you're a lady and you don't get it, I apologize and I can't do anything for you. It's a guy thing. We look at a lady and we think, would you, wouldn't you? And at that point, I would. We move on. Tom thinks it was all silicon. Farmer, I was going to say, she sat astride my. But this is a family stream. No, she definitely did. She was sitting astride a big one. Whether it was yours, whether it was mine, whether it was the US fucking military's, I don't know. But she was sitting astride of her. It had more than 6 inches girth, didn't it? It was a fucking big one. Yeah. It did. It did. And we all know it did. We all accept it did. We can all see it did. And therefore, we should all say what you see. It's is a catchphrase from a British TV program called Catchphrase, perversely enough. Or, I guess not perversely enough, but it's not perverse, it's not onomatopoeic. What is it? It is auto. Well, it's self evident. Say what you see. The catchphrase from the TV program Catchphrase. Yeah. Huh. Oh, I'm yawning, folks. I don't know if you can tell. We're just over 3 hours. I always like to go for 4 hours, but the audience numbers are falling. I'm tired. It's been a long day. Oh, God, I said audience numbers are falling, and then they fell even more. Fuck. That's okay. Okay, I'm with you. You're all jumping ship. Yeah, okay, it's fair enough. I think we're gonna draw a line under it there, folks. I haven't really got anywhere else to go with it, I don't think. I'm tired. It looks like you're tired. We're over 3 hours, but I don't think we're going to reach 4. I don't think so. So we might just let it go there. I thank you all for joining me and for trying to make a go of this thing. It's always it was a random, it was an ad hoc. I didn't really get to publicize it and push out the notifications. I didn't do any of that. I didn't do the pinned comment with the begging link with the PayPal link. If anybody does want to donate and help keep a guy kind of alive and going and in pennies, if you go into the description about halfway down, you will find a PayPal donate link. It's always an option. It's always an option. We had I think was it Frank earlier did one. Let me just go back. It was Frank, yeah. Thank you, Frank. Much appreciated, my friend. And I know you're working and you've got more pennies than I have, but that doesn't mean that you have to donate. But it's appreciated when somebody does, and when anybody does. I can't. You all know. I've told the story. You know my circumstance. Trapped by circumstance. That there is really no. Even now, there's no. There's no obvious way forward. It is just survival. It is just month by month. If I'm alive next month and the month after and the one after that, occasionally I will look further ahead. So when I'm thinking about buying this next solar panel again, I'm thinking about whether I'm going to be here in 6 months, 3 months, 6 months, 9 months. It seems weird to be. Obviously, my natural instinct isn't to be homeless. That's not my natural way of being. I was a normal person once upon a time with a job, with a business, with a future. This is all very different. I've talked about how I've met people who are far more adept at being homeless than me, who can set up camps overnight and move around, and I can't do any of these things. It's not my thing. It's not my culture. I don't know. It's not me. I adapt within my own sphere, within my own limited set of circumstances. So I appreciate when I get the thanks, and when I get I try. I don't know whether entertain is the right word. I try to entertain you. I try to give you something to come and watch. I try to update you about my circumstances and where I'm at in life, and I guess that's the channel, the aim of the channel. So anything and any donations to help me keep going are appreciated. Me and Tina, it's not just me, but it's the doggy as well. I have to keep her fed and watered and nourished and going. Yeah, but I guess that's what I'm saying. I'm saying thank you. I'm saying thank you. I appreciate any and all donations, whether now, whether later, whether whatever. It's all appreciated. And with that said, I think I'm going to say to you, in the manner to which you may or may not be accustomed, and she's kind of asleep, so I've got to be a little bit. Let me see whether I can get her involved. Maybe not. Oh, we'll need a light if we are. Here we go, here's a light. Oh no, look, she is fast asleep. Hey, babe. Hey, babe. Okay, folks. From Tina. Hey, babe. And from me, Delta Mike. Out.